freshman from Kaohsiung Bible Holiness Church. I went to church when I was 6 with my dad because he's the first person to become Christian in our family. And at first I went there to learn English, but later, 2 years ago, I started to think that I really want to have Jesus in my life and follow him for the rest of my life, so I baptized 2 years ago. And now here I am, so I'm glad I followed Jesus, and thank you.
Hello, I'm Bradley Halter, sitting in the first church established by HIM in Zhongli, Taiwan. HIM was invited to come to Taiwan in the early 70s by a Christian college that had been established a number of years before, and the founders were aging and wanted someone to help them. After much discussion, it was decided that Robert and Marcina Pelton would come to Taiwan, and they arrived here in 1973. So the first years of HIM's work in Taiwan centered around ministering to students at Shunda Christian College. More and more we felt the need of having our own church where we could disciple people and help people into a deeper Christian life. Time went by, and eventually the way opened up for us to actually begin and plant our first church here in Taiwan, which took place here in the city of Zhongli. Now we have 3 churches in Taiwan, one here in Zhongli in the northern part of Taiwan, 2 more in the southern part of Taiwan. The southern churches also were established through beginning with home Bible studies and then other contacts that came to us, as well as contacts through teaching in a Christian college in Kaohsiung. This seemed to be the way the Lord opened the door for us to work and minister here in those days in Taiwan. Now here in Zhongli, the church was blessed with faithful pastors such as Brother Pelton, and then Dr. Wingham and the Palms, who came and served for a number of years here. It was during the time the Palms were here that the church really became established and experienced quick growth. We came to a place in the development of the church here that we realized God wanted to provide local, national leadership, not just as elders, but as pastors. God has given us 2 young men from our own congregation who are now actively leading the church. And it's wonderful to see how God has brought this all together. After establishing the church here, Elliot Zhu and I felt like God was leading us to the south of Taiwan to do a new work there.
I was saved in 1982 when I was in a college here. And by the time I got the chance to go to Hopsang, and so I went there. After I graduated from Hopsang, I decided to come back to Taiwan and work with the church here. We worked together to start Holiness Church, the first church in Taiwan. Brady and I, we decided to go down to Kaohsiung to start another church. And so the next year, it was 1986, we went down to Kaohsiung and we started working there. If I remember right, we start with a English Bible study class. Then gradually, we call enough people, and so we had the church in Kaohsiung. Then later on, we went to join, and pretty soon we have another church there. I thank God for His providence. I thank God for His protection. I am still working for Him. He really kept me and preserved me. Thank you.
We went without knowing where we were going, literally. but God provided a place for us to live and eventually a place for us where we could actually begin Bible studies, which led into the development of a new church.
My name is Byron Manners. This is my wife, Melissa. We are HIM missionaries serving as the pastors of the Zoying Bible Holiness Church in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Recently, an opportunity developed while we were visiting with former students up north. For many years, we've been discipling a lady by the name of Fei. Her English name is Sharon. I've been trying to reach out to her husband and witness to him. There's another student, former student that I taught, that her name is Erica, and she said, I'd like to become a Christian. I'm thinking about getting baptized. And I told her I would be very happy to help her. So we talked and we made arrangements that the next month we would go up to the north and hold a series of classes on one day to prepare them for baptism. And Fei's husband wanted to take those classes, and at the end of the day, both of them said, we're ready to follow Jesus, we want to be baptized. And that's exactly what happened. They came down here, and we had a wonderful service that morning. And God just seemed to be very present, very real that morning, and it really helped both of them to reach out in faith and believe that Jesus really was their Savior. It's exciting to see God working in these lives, even though they're so far away from us.
Hi, I'm Darlene Edwards.
And I'm Nancy Messenger.
We have pastored the Kaohsiung Bible Holiness Church for 8 years. I am responsible for the Sunday morning sermon and the Wednesday night prayer reading.
And I teach the Sunday school classes, and we've just finished a baptism class for our candidates. And I also teach a Saturday night Bible study at the church. Although we've been teachers for many, many years, the Lord called us to Taiwan, and then the church invited us to be their pastors. So it's been a real privilege. We've learned to love the people, and they really respond to us, and we just felt like they're family, our church family.
All of our churches in Taiwan are evangelistic in nature. At the same time, we realize we must develop and nurture our own people. In our Zhongli church, we have a strong young people's group. One of the national pastor's wife leads, and they have developed into a very active group. Not only do they enjoy their times together and in their own services and their own fellowship times, but they also every year have an outreach mission. This has not only been a blessing to those churches to which they have gone, but we can see the result in the young people also, their own growth, their own vision of doing something for God, and their own desire to minister for God. It has been a great blessing.
Hi, YOLO. 我是佳音，我是博倩。Okay, hi everybody. This is Julia, and this is Jolie, and I'm Florence. We are members of Zhongli Church teenagers. Today we're going to share about why we want to go on a youth mission. Our goal is to lead the church over there and help them get stronger and stronger. And we want to get closer to God while helping them.
These things all tell us there's a future for our church. There's hope for our church because we have young people and even children who go out doing ministry. And so in all of these works, God has worked in different ways, but we see God's hand, and our hope and desire for each church is to see them pastored by national pastors, led by local leadership, and the missionaries can continue to reach out in new ways and new areas for the gospel. God is not finished with the work that He began so many years ago in Taiwan. He has much more in store for us, and we're encouraged that we can see the people of Taiwan standing up and taking the gospel to their own people, reaching out and helping others and challenging us, even as missionaries, to do more for God.
HIM has been privileged to work in Taiwan. We are blessed with an incredible team of missionaries who are sacrificially giving their lives on a daily basis to ensure that more people will make it to heaven. Our ultimate goal is to make disciples there in Taiwan and in China that will in turn go and make more disciples. We are grateful for for the churches that God has enabled our missionaries to plant. Far beyond that, we are excited to see a new generation of Taiwanese leaders who are rising up and meeting the challenge head-on of going out and planting new churches on their own. We look forward to the day when God will raise up an army of men and women who are dedicated to planting His church in the many cities that spread across Taiwan, across China, and across all of the Asian world. Join us in praying that God's will continue to be accomplished in the massive continent of Asia.